हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जमुना तेरा वनचारी, जमुना तेरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जमुना तेरा वनचारी, जमुना तेरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव, जय राधा माधव, राधा माधव, जय राधा माधव, जय गौर निताई, जय गौर निताई, गौर निताई, जय गौर निताय, जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. जंग विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमात अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की ISKCON Beauty Founder Acharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada की जय श्री श्री राधा पार्थ सारथी ललिता विशाखा जी की सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री श्री गौर निताय की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत गौर भक्तबिंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Fan will be off.
Fan should be off, AC should be on.
We'll get you a smaller fan.
Okay. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुषुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स पदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिष्ये नमः. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंध जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते. तप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5. Chapter is entitled Lord Rishabhadev's Teaching. text number 8.
श्रीमद् भागवतम के 5वें स्कंद के 5वें अध्याय के 8वें श्लोक से पढ़ रहे हैं। अध्याय का शीर्षक है भगवान ऋषभदेव द्वारा अपने पुत्रों को उपदेश।
It's a famous verse for the brahmacharis. Is very interesting verse.
ये बहुत ही विख्यात श्लोक है, विशेष करके ब्रह्मचारियों के लिए बहुत ही विशेष श्लोक है ये।
पुंसो स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथो हृदय ग्रंथिमाहु अतो गृह क्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्ते जनस्य मोह अयम अहम ममेति पुंस स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मृथ हृदय ग्रंथिमाहु अत गृह क्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्ते जनस्य मोह अयम अहम मामिति पुंस स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथ हृदय ग्रंथिमाहु अतो गृह क्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्ते जनस्य मोह अयम अहम ममेति। Mataji's.
शब्दार्थ अनुवाद और तात्पर्य। कृष्ण कृपा श्री मूर्ति अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद, जो कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय श्री कृष्ण भवनामृत संघ के संस्थापक आचार्य और परमोन्नत शिक्षा गुरु हैं। श्रील प्रभुपाद की पुंसः पुरुष अथवा नर का, स्त्रियाः स्त्री का, मिथुनी भावम काम भोग वासना पूर्ण जीवन के लिए आकर्षण। एतम यह तयोः उन दोनों का, मिथः परस्पर, हृदय ग्रंथिम हृदयों की गांठ, आहुः कहते हैं, अतः तत्पश्चात, गृह घर, क्षेत्र खेत, सुत पुत्र, आप्त संबंधी, स्वजन, वित्तैः तथा धन से, जनस्य जीवात्मा का, मोहः मोह, अयम यह, अहम मैं, मम मेरा, इति इस प्रकार। अनुवाद कृपया मेरे बात दोहराएं। स्त्री तथा पुरुष के मध्य का आकर्षण भौतिक अस्तित्व का मूल नियम है। इस भ्रांत धारणा के कारण स्त्री तथा पुरुष के हृदय परस्पर जुड़े रहते हैं। इसी के फलस्वरूप मनुष्य अपने शरीर, घर, संतान, स्वजन तथा धन के प्रति आकृष्ट होता है। इस प्रकार वह जीवन के मोहों को बढ़ाता है और मैं तथा मेरा के रूप में सोचता है। ध्यानपूर्वक तात्पर्य श्रवण करें। स्त्री तथा पुरुष के बीच सहज आकर्षण का प्रमुख कारण विषय भोग है और विवाहित होने पर यह आकर्षण और भी दृढ़ हो जाता है। स्त्री तथा पुरुष के इस ग्रंथिल संबंध के कारण मोह उत्पन्न होता है, जिससे यह सोचना पड़ता है कि अमुक पुरुष मेरा पति है या अमुक स्त्री मेरी पत्नी है। यह हृदय ग्रंथि कहलाती है। इस ग्रंथि को खोल पाना कठिन है। भले ही स्त्री तथा पुरुष वर्णाश्रम के नियमों के अनुसार या तलाक देने के कारण विलग क्यों न हो ले, प्रत्येक दशा में स्त्री पुरुष के बारे में और पुरुष स्त्री के बारे में सोचता रहता है। इस प्रकार व्यक्ति परिवार, धन तथा संतान के प्रति भौतिक रूप से आसक्त हो जाता है, भले ही ये सब क्षणिक क्यों न हो। ऐसा व्यक्ति दुर्भाग्यवश अपने आप को अपनी संपत्ति और धन से जोड़ लेता और उसे अपनी पहचान बना होता है। कभी कभी संन्यास लेने के बाद भी कोई किसी मंदिर में या अपनी कतिपय वस्तुओं में आसक्त हो जाते हैं, जिन्हें वह अपनी संपत्ति समझाने लगता है, किंतु पता है इसमें समझाने लिखा है, समझा है, समझने लगता है। किंतु ऐसी आसक्ति गृहस्थी के प्रति आकर्षण के समान बलवती नहीं होती। परिवार की आसक्ति सबसे प्रबल मोह है। सत्य संहिता में कहा गया है, ब्रह्माद्या याज्ञवल्काद्या मुच्यन्ते स्त्री सहायिनः बोध्यन्ते केचनैतेषां विशेषं च विदो विदुः। कभी कभी यह देखा जाता है कि ब्रह्मा जैसे महापुरुषों के लिए स्त्री तथा पुत्र बंधन के कारण नहीं बनते, उल्टे पत्नी आध्यात्मिक जीवन तथा मुक्ति में सहायक बनती है। तो भी अधिकांश व्यक्ति दाम्पत्य भाव की ग्रंथि से बंधे रहते हैं, फलतः वे कृष्ण के साथ अपने संबंध को भूल जाते हैं। श्रील प्रभुपाद की।
So, I'll speak in English for 3 reasons.
प्रभु जी अंग्रेजी में बोलेंगे 3 कारणों की वजह से।
Because I'm attached to English language.
क्योंकि प्रभु जी अंग्रेजी से आसक्त हैं।
Second, my class will be heard in different parts of the world and many of them may not know Hindi.
और ये कक्षा जो है विश्व के विविध भागों में श्रवण किया जाएगा और उनमें से कई लोगों को हिंदी मालूम नहीं होगी।
And third reason, I am not so good in Hindi.
और तीसरा कारण मेरी हिंदी उतनी अच्छी नहीं है।
Even if Hindi becomes good, I prefer to speak in Delhi in English.
मेरी हिंदी अगर मेरी सुधर भी जाए मेरी हिंदी, तो भी मैं दिल्ली में अंग्रेजी में बोलना पसंद करूंगा।
If you don't mind.
आपको बुरा ना लगे तो। I asked him, he wanted me to translate side by side.
But I don't know which one will be good. Huh?
It's up to the speaker.
I am comfortable with him, whatever. He is my very favorite translator. How many of you, कितने लोग को अंग्रेजी समझ में नहीं आता है? हाथ उठाइए। Very few. क्या करें? They are right actually, because my flow and also timing will be taken away if I sentence by sentence होगा तो ठीक है, आपका निर्देश पीछे थोड़ा हिंदी में होगा, हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन। जिसको अंग्रेजी नहीं आता है उसके लिए ट्रांसलेशन पीछे होगा, ठीक है ना प्रभु जी? पीछे, सॉरी। But you will have little hard time because translation sentence by sentence is easy, but simultaneous translation is a little difficult. I'll speak little slow. Okay. So I'll read the translation into English, Prabhupada's translation in English. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. Aham mamit. So this is a 5th canto, is the canto which forces us to become detached, because teaching is very strong. And in the modern days nowadays, if you speak like this, although it's the absolute truth, but acceptability of the general audience is not so much for this kind of teachings. But it's a devotee audience. I'll try to speak according to Sadhu Guru and Shastra and as palatable as possible. Okay. So if I speak something strong, please forgive me. I'm begging forgiveness in advance. This is one of the most favorite verse, not mine, many people's. We have to take it in a very positive way. So here, attraction of the illusory energy is explained. And the primary attraction of this material world is the attraction of sex life. Just like in the spiritual world, the binding force is the loving relationship between Krishna and his devotees. That love is binding the spiritual world. But that love is reflected in a perverted way in this material world as lust, and that this lust is binding us in this material world. So, you know what is lust. I will not go into that detail, but I will discuss how to deal with it. Knowing problem is not enough, but we have to deal with the problems. Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is the positive alternative in our life. So this lust can be dealt with very nicely, provided we have that wisdom. Our goal is to go to the level of love. Our journey is from lust to love. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai Sravanadi Suddha Chitte Karo Uday. It's explained that the love is there. We have to revive it. That is the journey. The spiritual journey begins from lust and ends at love. So what to do in between? That is a problematic phase. Those who are completely illusioned by the lust, they are also happy. Means they don't know. And those who are in the situation of love, they are super happy because they don't know what is lust. But the problem is in between, the sadhakas, because they know both love and the lust. But they know the philosophical aspect of love, but they have the experience of lust. So that is very dangerous situation. So you have to be very, very careful. So I will try to explain lust, how to deal with it by the acronym lust. We will deal with the lust with lust. L-U-S-T. To remember, it's very interesting because nowadays memory is not so good. But this kind of acronym will help us to remember. L stands for leave the bad association. U, understand the effect of lust. S, sincerely pray for shelter. And T, tolerate the provoking situations. So these are the four aspects we'll discuss from the point of view of Sadhu, Guru and Shastra and try to apply in our life so that we can handle the lust and will be able to reach our destination, which is love. So association is very, very important because association decides our destination. Karana guna sangasya sad asajjani janmasya. According to our association, we get our destination. So we have to be in good association. Mahaprabhu explained what is the symptom of a sadhu. Asat sanga tyag ei Vaishnava achar. Stri sangi ek sadhu Krishna bhakta ar. So asat sanga tyag is a symptom of a sadhu. Give up the bad association. Leave the bad association. That is the first symptom of sadhana. Because sadhu sangha is the positive aspect. What is the alternative of asat sangha? Sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha, sarva shastre koi, lava matra sadhu sange, sarva siddhi hai. A moment association with sadhu can give us perfection. But asat sangha will drag us to the lower species of life. Because when we associate with asat, then our consciousness goes down. Dhyayate vishayan pungsa, sangaste supajayate, sangas sangjayate kamo, kamat krodha vijayate, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat siti vibhrama, siti bhangshat buddhi nasa, buddhi nasat panasati. So when we are in the association with asat, then what happens? We degrade. But when we are in good association, we are elevated. So, in order to handle the last in our life, the first step is to leave bad association. So, glaring example is Kala Krishna Das. So, you heard Kala Krishna Das was traveling with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in South India. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the embodiment of love. Right? He is love. He is carrying love. He is love. And Kala Krishna Das is traveling with him in South India. But he got attracted to the ladies. This is the power of Asat Sangha. Ajamil, highly trained in Brahminical culture. He is not from Kali Yuga. He is not a Kali Yuga Brahmana. He is highly trained in culture. But he just saw, what he saw? An intimate association of a man with a prostitute. Intimate association. And that comes into the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, and whole one canto has been dedicated. So if Sukadev Goswami has to speak Bhagavatam now, so how many cantos he needs? Because his Ajamil is not in one place. Everywhere is Ajamil, right? All forbidding. Just like Paramatma is all forbidding, so Ajamil is all forbidding in the modern society nowadays. You don't have to try for Ajamil sin. Everywhere is available. It's available in the mobile. Just one switch, Ajamil is available. Ajamil story. So we are such a dangerous situation. So association plays very important role. So therefore, we have to leave bad association. Very, very important. But sometimes we are in preaching mission. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Amar aggai guru hoya taro edesh. The perfection of life is to preach Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji, how we can give up bad association? Right? So, whole thing is bad association. Then we should stop preaching and stay in our room and chant Hare Krishna. Right or wrong? We should do like that? So there are two extremes. I'll explain that. We should take a balanced path. The devotee has to be balanced. A yogi has to be balanced. Yukta haro viharasya yukta chestasya karmasya. Yukta sapna bhavadasya yoga bhavati dukkha. All our miseries will go away when we lead our life in a balanced way. But our tendency is always go extreme. Someone always preaching, someone always doing bhajan. Too extreme. Both have problem. Those who do only bhajan, in the name of bhajan, will become lazy. And those who are only in preaching, he will become crazy. So Prabhupada said we should also have balanced in our balanced life of sleeping. Who sleeps too much, he becomes lazy. And who sleeps too less, he becomes crazy. And Prabhupada said ISKCON is not meant for lazy and crazy people. So yogis has to be balanced. Balanced life. So once one Prabhupada follower, devotee, disciple, gave an idea to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you said that preaching is so important. Krishna said, Mahaprabhu said, Acharya said, because we are Gostanandis, we are not Bhajananandis. But getting people in the Western world is very difficult. Right? In order to preach, you need people, no? To talk. So very difficult to get people in the Western country. So he came up with a brilliant idea. He said, idea is that Prabhupada, getting people is difficult in this country, but if we go to the nightclub, Saturday night, we can get a lot of people. No need of any advertisement. Ready-made. Everything is available. So what do you think about this idea, Prabhupada, to preach like that? Prabhupada said, idea is very good. but make sure you come back. So, this is the impact of bad association. We have to be very, very careful. We have to know what we can do and what we cannot do. Enthusiasm is good. Taking risk is good. But we have to know how much risk we can take. Prabhupada can take any level of risk. But we cannot imitate that because we will have problem. So therefore, we should preach. How we should preach? We should not go to the nightclub like that, but we have to preach. But in what consciousness we should preach? And what kind of precaution we should take? We should preach like a kabaddi player. You heard kabaddi? Kabaddi is not so popular nowadays. But kabaddi is a game. Two parties are there. So one side, one party, other side, another party. So you have to go like that. You have to go from your court to other's court. And say kabaddi, 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 touch. After touching one man of that party, come back. And if you stay longer, what will happen? You will become their party. Okay? So that's why we have also, preaching is like a kabaddi game. We are Krishna's party and we are preaching to Maya's party. But we have to be very, very careful how long we stay. We have to go, preach and immediately come back. If you stay longer, problem. I have seen in the name of preaching, many devotees, they are out of Krishna consciousness. Because we have to know our capacity. But the principle remains the same, that we have to be very, very careful what kind of association we are in. The principle remains the same, that we should be in good association and give up bad association. So first is leave bad association. Second is you. Understand the effect. So unless you know the effect, and before knowing the effect, you should know where lust resides. In order to attack the enemy, right, in a war, you have to identify where is that enemy. If you don't know where is the enemy, then how you can attack? So before dealing with lust, you have to know where lust resides. Bhagavad Gita explains that lust resides in our senses, lust resides in our mind, and lust also resides in our intelligence, all pervading. And the whole existence, the whole ether is surcharged with lust. Because this world is the world of sex life, Maithunagar. So everything is all pervading. So you have to be very, very careful where we are. So enemy is very powerful. Daiviyesa gunamoyi mama maya durate. Very difficult to overcome. Almost impossible. So that has to be understood. After knowing where is the enemy, you should also know the strength of that enemy. If you don't know the strength, you start fighting, what will happen? You will be defeated, badly defeated. So therefore, understanding the strength of the enemy is very, very important. That's why Krishna is declaring for the devotees what kind of enemy we are dealing with. And he is telling, you cannot deal with this enemy. So that will come to the next point, how we should deal with that enemy. So we have to understand, this is called understanding of the lust. So what is the impact of lust? There can be many impact, but I will discuss three. Number one, lust makes us blind. Kamandha. Many things makes us blind. One thing is lust. Lust makes a person blind. He cannot see. Number two, lust binds us in this material world perpetually. Number three, lust takes away good association. So these are the three impacts of lust. So the first is lust makes us blind. So spiritual life means seeing Krishna. That is spirituality. But what is the impact of lust? Lust cannot allow you to see the truth. Because lust makes us blind. Example is Silana Mishra, one Brahmana. He was attracted to a prostitute. Her name was Chintamani. So beautiful, Chintamani was really beautiful, although prostitute was wonderful, beautiful lady. And Silana Mishra was attracted. Every day he used to go to her. So one day his relative died. I think his father died. And after doing the final rites, the evening time arrived. So the relative said, please don't go to Chintamani today. At least today is not a good day to go. He said, no, I have to go. And that day, so much rain, heavy rain. Chintamani used to stay other side of the river. And in order to go there, you have to cross the river. Heavy rain, so heavy tide in the river. There was nothing there to cross the river. No boat was available because of the rain. But he decided to go. So what he saw a log of wood. And he grabbed that and swam across the river. And all the doors and the windows are closed because heavy rain. So how to get up? So he saw a rope is coming down from a tree. He was holding that rope and climbed up and entered into the room of Chintamani. And Chintamani was surprised to see the Silana, you are here. I heard that your father died. And I was thinking that you will not come today because heavy rain, your father died, but still you are here. But how could you cross the river? How could you climb up? He said, very simple. I got a log of wood, I crossed the river, then I got a rope, I climbed up. They said, let me check what kind of rope and what kind of log of wood you used to come to my place. So when Chintamani came to see what kind of rope, and she saw that was not a rope, that was a poisonous snake was hanging. And that was not log of wood, that was a dead body. So Chintamani said, the level of attraction, the intensity of attraction you have for me, if you can have that kind of attraction, a fraction of that attraction for Krishna, your life will become successful. So Chintamani acted like a guru. And Silana took it very seriously. And he left that place and came to Vrindavan and became Villamangal Thakur. But the lesson to be learned, when you are attracted by sex life, that makes that person blind. You cannot see things. And because of that, Silana thought that log of wood, that dead body as log of wood, the snake as rope. So everything is covered over. So lust covers over our consciousness. We cannot see things. So therefore, the first impact of lust is it blinds us. Number 2, Prabhupada is explaining in this purport that lust is the cause of binding us in this material world. As long as lust desire will be there, our journey in this material world will continue. So lust and Krishna consciousness cannot go together. So lust will keep us into this material world, and love will take us to the spiritual world. So lust binds us into this material world. And third one is, when we are affected by lust, just like our Kala Krishna Das, as soon as he was affected by the lust, he could not appreciate the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So lust takes away good association. So this is the second aspect to deal with lust, understanding the effect of lust. Number 3 is S. Sincerely pray for shelter. Because Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Doibhihesha gunamoyi mamamaya durattaya. It's almost impossible to overcome. But how we can overcome? Mame bhaja prapaddante maya metang tarantrite. We have to take shelter. Very, very important. And that is the glory of devotional service. And that this kind of aspect of life makes us very, very humble. Why? Because by our own endeavor, we cannot handle lust. So what we have to do? We have to take shelter. So that is very, very important. Rupa Goswami has explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, that pure devotional service is Sudurlava. He used the word Sudurlava. One is Sulava, then Durlava, then Sudurlava. Sulava means easy, easily available. You know that. In Mayapur you have Sulabh kitchen, little money. And on the road you have Sulabh Sauchalay. Little money, you can use it. But after Sulabh is Durlabh, rare. Sudurlabh means not possible at all. And he gives 2 reasons why it is impossible to get. Pure devotional service is impossible to get. Why? He gives 2 reasons. Krishna doesn't want to give it. First reason. Second reason, we cannot get it by our own endeavor. 2 reasons. So why Krishna doesn't want to give it? There are many reasons. We will not go into that detail because topic is a little different. But how we can get it? Krishna doesn't want to give it. We cannot get it by our own endeavor. So who can give it? How we can get it? He's telling pure devotees can give it. Because pure devotional service is the wealth of the pure devotees. It's not the wealth of Krishna. So therefore we have to take shelter of the pure devotees. Again, we have to be humble. Because we cannot get it by our own endeavor. So what do we have to do? Take shelter. So there is no other way than to be humble. There is no alternative of humility in Krishna consciousness. You have to be. So choice is there whether we should do it voluntarily or Krishna will put us in so much difficulty and that will force us to be humble. So better is the first choice. Why? To be embarrassed. So better to be humble in our spiritual life because our endeavor is not enough and sufficient to attain pure devotional service. In the same way, we cannot handle lust by our own endeavor. Impossible. Subhak Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, when I can be free from lusty desire? Prabhupada replied in a very grave mood, never. So he was devastated. He said, I came to this Krishna consciousness movement. I joined because of that to be free from lusty desire, but the founder Acharya of this movement is telling impossible. Never. He was not so satisfied with the answer because Prabhupada was also testing him. So after a few days again, Maharaj asked the same question. That time he was a brahmachari. So he asked the question, Prabhupada, morning walk time. So how I can be free from lusty desires? So Prabhupada looked at him in his own style and he said, Govinda Ichha. When Lord will desire, that day he will be free from lusty desire. So that is very, very important lesson to be learned. So once Prabhupada declared that I cannot be affected by Maya, even if I am surrounded by the naked ladies, I will not be affected. What a statement. So one devotee had that, many out of many. And one day Prabhupada was in Australia in a temple and he was sincerely praying to the Lord. And devotees have a desire, no, what prayer, Guru, what he is praying. Inquiry is there, inquisitiveness is there. So, but asking Prabhupada what you are praying, very difficult. So one devotee just went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we saw that you are praying so intensely. So if you can kindly tell us, what were you praying? So Prabhupada said, I was praying to the Lord that I don't become victimized by Maya. So that devotee, another devotee who heard that, he was also there when Prabhupada said that Maya cannot touch me. So here Prabhupada is telling, I am praying to the Lord that I don't become victim of Maya. So it's contradictory. So he approached Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you told that day that Maya cannot touch you. But today you are telling that you are praying to the Lord that you don't become victim of Maya. Looks little contradictory. Can you explain? Prabhupada said, there is no contradiction in my words. Because I am sincerely praying to the Lord at every moment, that's why Maya cannot touch me. So, this is the secret. Prabhupada is giving the secret to be untouched by Maya. We have to be always praying sincerely. By our own endeavor, it's not going to happen. It's not a magic show one day. You get up in the morning from bed, Prabhuji, I am not feeling any lusty desire, I am free. It's not going to happen. It's not a magic show. Sadhana bhakti থেকে হয় রতি হৃদয়, রতি গাঢ় হইলে প্রেম নাম কয়. Sincere sadhana bhakti will lead us to rati. It's not going to happen unless you get a very special kripa siddhi. That is different. But kripa siddhi is an exception. But in Kali Yuga, tendency is that everybody wants to be exceptional. That is the problem. Exception becomes the rule in Kali Yuga. But exception always remains exceptions. Rule is always rule. So rule is sadhana bhakti থেকে হয় রতি হৃদয়, রতি গাঢ় হইলে প্রেম নাম কয়. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that when we are very, very sincere in sadhana bhakti, then we can be free from this lusty desire. Otherwise, it's not possible. One devotee came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I am not feeling any lusty desire. Prabhupada said, go and see a doctor. So, we should not think like that, mechanically, medically, or some magic will happen and we'll be free from lusty desire. It's not going to happen. It will happen only by the mercy flowing from up and sincere effort from down. When there is a combination of our sincere effort and mercy of the Lord and His devotees, it will manifest. So you have to take shelter. Ajamil got affected because he did not take shelter. That's why he got affected. Haridas Thakur, what to talk about prostitute? Maya Devi herself came to test Haridas Thakur, but he was not affected. One prostitute came also to make him victimized because of the influence, conspiracy of a king. So that prostitute came to Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, okay, no problem, I'll satisfy you. Because devotees are very merciful. He said, I'll satisfy your desire, but I am very busy now. I have to finish my rounds. After finishing my chanting, I'll satisfy you. So whole night chanting was going on. He said, sorry, I could not do it today because chanting is not complete yet. Then, next night, same thing happened. He said, okay, next night I'll definitely fulfill your desire. But what happened during the association of 2 nights, this prostitute got purified. So next night, instead of fulfilling her desire, she surrendered herself at the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur and became his disciple. And Haridas Thakur said, I wanted to leave this place. I knew the conspiracy, but still I was waiting for you. So I have delivered you, now I can leave. So this is the potency of taking shelter. That's why it is said, Ashray koriya bhaje, Krishna tare nahi taje, baki sab more akaran. He said, who will be victorious? Those who are doing bhajan, taking shelter. Bhajan means you have to take shelter. Some people say, Prabhu ji, bhajan karna hai, sadhin bhav se. So, we cannot do bhajan independently. Independence and bhajan cannot happen. The bhajan begins, we are dependent. Taking shelter of a sadhu, taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, taking shelter of the holy name. So in this Kali Yuga, 3 strong shelter. Very, very important. Actually 2 shelter, and that 2 shelters are given by another shelter. The 2 shelter is that Krishna does not appear in Kali Yuga. Krishna is Trijugi because he feels very discouraged to appear in Kali Yuga as God. Why? Because so many duplicate gods are there. So genuine God feels very shy to come. Okay. So Krishna comes in 2 forms in Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam explains Krishna sadhama upagate dharma jnana adivisaha kalau nashta dishamesha purana arka udina uditaha. So Krishna left with knowledge and religion, but he appeared again as a sun, not an ordinary sun. He came as a brilliant sun in the form of Purana. That Purana is Bhagavad Purana. So he has appeared in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he also has appeared Kali Yuge Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna has appeared in the form of holy name. So if you take shelter of these 2 things, your life will be successful. Prabhupada said, I don't know the exact place where he spoke. He said, if you study Bhagavatam every day 3 hours, guaranteed you will be a pure devotee of the Lord. But very difficult. Very difficult. Distributing is difficult. Reading is more difficult. And remembering is most difficult. Right? And absorption is impossible. But we have to try. We have to try. And who gives this? Sadhu. Sadhu gives the holy name. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that Sadhu Sange Harinam, not holy name alone. Sadhu Sange Harinam ei matro chai sangsar jinite ar kono bostu na. You have to chant, but you have to chant in the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha. Bhagavato porogiya Bhagavato sthane. Ekanto ashray karo chaitanya charana. You have to study Bhagavatam, but you have to study Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, not alone. And you have to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Srimad Bhagavatam will be revealed. You should not think, oh, I read the verses and Bhagavatam will be revealed. No. Unless and until we receive the mercy of the devotees and mercy of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we cannot understand. Srimad Bhagavatam will not be revealed to us. So taking shelter is very, very important. So time is up. So last one is T. Tolerate. Provoking situation. So I can talk a lot on this topic, but time is limited. Prabhupada makes a statement in Krishna book. Who is a great person? We all want to become great. Great preacher, great book distributor, great devotee. The tendency is there. We are thinking that who can become great, who has achieved great. How many devotees he has met, how many temples he has opened, how many books he has distributed. Then great devotee. But Prabhupada is giving a totally different definition of a great person. He is telling the greatness of a person has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. It's a very historic statement he has given in Krishna book. So you should remember this as a sloka. Just like we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, this is also the mantra in order to receive the mercy of the Lord. The greatness of a person has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. So tolerating is very, very important. It will come. The temptations of the lusty desires will come, but we have to tolerate it. We should not think, oh, kuch nahi hoga. It will happen. It will happen. Temptations will come. I think Billamangal Thakur, not Billamangal Thakur. One other Acharya has explained that, what is that Acharya's name? Jamunacharya. Jamunacharya is telling that when I start releasing the sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna, when the thought of sex life comes to my mind, what I do? My face becomes disgusted and I spit on that thought. And Prabhupada is giving a lecture on this topic, and Prabhupada also spat in the class. So literally he did that. Prabhupada was spitting. So by that we can understand the level. We should not imitate that. So, but the point to be made, that lesson to be learned, even in the life of Jamunacharya, the thought of sex life comes. When it comes, he is telling me it comes. So coming is not a problem. It's a problem, but it's not that problem. The real problem is that what you are dealing with, what you are doing with it. So what he is doing? He is not feeling very happy. He is feeling disgusted. Face becomes curled in disgust. And he spit on that thought. So we are doing that. Check. So that will show that what kind of level we have and what level we have to go. And those who dwell on the thought of sex life and externally showing renounced, what Krishna said? So, Vashtachari. Hypocrites. So we should not become hypocrite. We should become straightforward and genuine devotees. We should express our problem and deal with the problem in a Krishna conscious manner. Then we get the mercy of the Lord and His devotees. Then one day we will be successful in achieving our goal of life, which is love of Godhead. So it's a journey, although difficult, but it's not so difficult provided we take shelter. So taking shelter is very, very important to continue our journey and achieve the goal of our spiritual journey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Question later. Any question? Time is up. Personally? So because time is up, I cannot officially tell you to ask question. If you have any question, you can ask me personally. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.